Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to a brand new series that we're going to be running each and every day throughout the month of February here in 2021. Hope you're all having a great morning, had a great weekend. It's snowing like crazy here in New York. We're in the midst of what is going to be like a day and a half or 2 day snowstorm. So what better way to kick off our albums that are 50 years old in 2021 series. So I decided I actually probably should have started this in January, but it took me a couple of weeks to kind of figure out exactly what I wanted to do for our first kind of long-form series here in 2021. And I decided to kick it off in February. So how this is going to work is each and every day in the month of February, I am going to be picking one of my favorite releases from the year 1971. So we're looking at albums that are 50 years old this year, okay, 50 full years, and I'm going to pick one each day. So in a sense, what I'm going to do is my 28 favorite releases, one for each day of the month, from 1971. There was a lot to choose from. 71 was a great year, okay, but I had to pick 28. So I picked 28 of my favorites. They're not in any order, so you're just going to get a kind of random, each day, a random pick from my list of 28 favorites. And then each day, in addition to the pick that I'm going to talk about, I'm also going to pick an honorable mention. And this is an album that came from the larger list that didn't quite make the cut of 28. Okay? So let's jumpstart today. We're going to go to a release that came out January 3rd of 1971. Okay, on Vertigo in the UK, Mercury in the US, Bronze and Island for most of the rest of the world. Produced by Jerry Braun. I'm talking about Salisbury by Uriah Heep. Britain's own Uriah Heep. A really, really fun, really, really strong album. So again, this is a band who basically knocked it out of the park with their debut, Very Heavy, Very Humble, just a year prior. They would go on to release a string of albums over the next couple of years that are some of the best in that kind of heavy rock, proto-metal, prog rock, psychedelic kind of space that they occupied, because they did, a little bit of everything on these early albums. And of course, this album contains some of the memorable members of the band. So you had David Byron on vocals. Okay, you had Ken Hensley on keyboards, slide guitar, acoustic guitar, and vocals. Mick Box on lead guitar, acoustic guitar. Paul Newton on bass. All right, Paul would not be in the band for that long. And Keith Baker on drums. Both of those two guys, their time in the band would be fleeting. And then, of course, you would have Gary Thane and Lee Kerslake coming in on bass and drums to form the classic lineup of Uriah Heep. But, and interestingly enough, this album released two different versions in both the US and the UK. So the UK release had Bird of Prey, big, nice, heavy song. The Park, another great track. Time to Live, crushingly heavy. The sing-along favorite, Lady in Black. High Priestess, another high-energy rocker. Then, of course, the epic prog excursion called Salisbury, title track. Now on the US side, for the US album, and again you had different covers, right? This is the UK cover. The US cover had this strange kind of like monster or creature, right? For the US release, you had High Priestess, you had The Park, Time to Live, Lady in Black on side one of the vinyl, and then on side two you had the kind of silly Simon the Bullet Freak and Salisbury. For my money, I think that the UK release has the better track listing. Because for me, Simon the Bullet Freak, while kind of fun, that's kind of like the kind of throwaway track on the US release of the album, whereas the UK release, pretty tight from start to finish. Okay, and how you leave off Bird of Prey on the US release in favor of Simon the Bullet Freak, I'll never know. Because Bird of Prey absolutely cranks. Great track. And, so here you get the kind of odd but cool album cover with the tank, right? A great album, a good, heavy album. Maybe not, by most people, considered one of Uriah Heep's top maybe 2 or 3 releases, but it's definitely up there, right? Demons and Wizards, Magician's Birthday, Look at Yourself, the debut. Those are usually considered the cream of the crop when you talk of Heap. Salisbury's right after that, in my opinion. It's quite good. Very, very strong. If you're a prog rock fan and you'd never listened to Uriah Heep, check out the title track, Salisbury. Really, really great. It's got horns in it, loads of keyboards, a ripping wah-wah guitar solo. Awesome stuff. You got some heavy stuff, some proggy stuff, some more kind of like folky sing-along stuff. A little bit of everything on this album. A little bit of everything, and I totally dig it. It's been a favorite of mine for many, many years. So that is my pick for today, for day one of albums that are 50 years old here in 2021. So my runner-up, again, not runner-up, I should say, my honorable mention. This is, again, honorable mentions are coming from the pool of albums that I had picked out that didn't quite make the cut of 28. All right, so here we're talking about Wishbone Ash, Pilgrimage, a fine album on its own. Again, maybe not one of the Ash's best albums, but it's up there. It's up there. Some great tracks on here. You got Was Dies, The Pilgrim, Jailbait, Valediction. Some strong tracks on here. Where Were You Tomorrow? Another lengthy track. Lullaby, Alone. Fine stuff from the Ash legendary twin guitar band. Martin Turner, Andy Powell on guitars. I'm sorry, Ted Turner and Andy Powell on guitars, Martin Turner on bass and vocals. Dynamite album. Didn't quite make my list, but the purpose of doing these honorable mentions is just to kind of give some props to the albums that didn't quite make the cut of 28. So that's how this is going to work. So each and every day, okay, Monday through Sunday, I'm going to give you a pick of one of my favorite releases that are 50 years old this year and an honorable mention. Okay, I want everybody to do the same. This is good. This is kind of like everybody contributes here. So everybody watching, go back to the list of albums that came out in 1971, and each and every day pick a different one among your favorites. So go through the whole list. Figure out what your 28 favorites are, your absolute favorites. Can be any genre. Of course, mine are mostly going to be, obviously, as you know, rock, hard rock, prog, jazz fusion, that sort of thing. I might have some pop things in there here and there, but you know what my favorite stuff is. So I'm going to lean towards that. You've got some great bands that released multiple albums this year. Makes it kind of tough, right? If you feel like putting multiple albums by the same band, hey, go for it, right? I won't deny that I might do it. So there's lots to choose from. 1970 and 71, we should have done this last year too, but it's okay, better late than never. 71 was a great year for music. Absolutely great year for music. There's tons of killer releases that came out in 1971 that are turning 50 this year. So start typing, start looking at the lists, okay, of all the releases from 71. Pick your day one favorite, and like I said, I've got my entire list of the month ready to go. So each and every morning, I'm going to be bringing you another episode, and I'm asking everybody to take part, and let's just talk about the great albums that are turning 50 years old this year, right? So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on the YouTube all the damn time. Coming up on the channel tonight, Hudson Valley Squares. Some Monday night must-see TV at 8 o'clock tonight. Well, we tape at 8 o'clock tonight. You'll probably see it about 9:30 or 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be talking about physical media, okay? Physical stuff, CDs, LPs, versus digital versus streaming. Kind of what our habits are, how we buy, how we listen, okay? That'll be an interesting conversation because, of course, we've got, all sorts of different age groups represented in the Hudson Valley Squares. We got a guest appearance from Dan Brown tonight helping out on this episode. It's actually his idea, so he's going to guest star on the Hudson Valley Squares tonight. And then tune in tomorrow morning for day 2 of albums that turned 50 years old this year. Lots more stuff coming up this week, so don't miss any of it. And we'll see you later on. Take care. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.